Ever struggle with jealousy? Even if you don't think the green-eyed monster is coming for you, do you have those little niggling comments of comparisоnism? Like when you see a woman who's maybe skinnier or fitter than you and you just go, oh, I wish I could have her body. Or you see someone whose business is more successful than yours, at least on paper or on Instagram, you're like, oh, I wish I could have her business. And there's that little twinge. Maybe it's not like a full-fledged green-eyed monster of like, oh, good for her. But it's a little twinge. In this episode, we are going to dive into the power and the illusion of jealousy and how to deal with it. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Crown Yourself podcast, where together we build your empire and transform your subconscious stories about what's possible for your business, body, and life. I'm your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of crownyourself.com, and I'm a master mindset coach, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, known to my clients as a game changer. Each week, you get the conscious leadership strategies you need to help you reign with courage, clarity, and confidence so that you too can make the income and impact you deserve. Imagine this podcast as your royal invitation to step into your full potential and reign in your divine purpose. Your sovereignty starts here, and your reign is now. Hello and welcome back to the Crown Yourself podcast. As always, shower yourself with a hot dose of gratitude, Queen, because you are here. You are choosing content that uplifts and inspires and champions and challenges you to grow, which takes a lot of courage. So I got to commend you for sticking with it, for coming back. I am your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of crownyourself.com. I'm a master mindset coach and communication coach, and I am so excited to bring you this podcast on jealousy, which is something that I definitely struggled with this when I was in middle school. Oh my gosh, the green-eyed monster was real. The comparison was no joke. I personally think middle school girls should fight terrorism because they are just so nasty. They will, not with guns, but with words. Their sarcasm and wit and nasty comments will just make you cry. It'll make your inner child cry. Anyways, so I used to struggle with jealousy, and there was always the popular crowd growing up. I don't know if at your high school or it wasn't so much at my high school, because when I transferred high school and started going to an all-girls high school, it surprisingly wasn't as prominent, the jealousy and the cliquing, as it was at a co-ed school. And I went to a co-ed Christian school, and there was this group that we knew as they were the popular crowd. And I was like, says who? Now I look back, I'm like, who named them that name? Why do they have that name? Why not the other crowd? There were other crowds that I knew that also had the same amount of people. So I don't know if that constitutes popularity, but personally, I think being popular does connote having a certain amount of people that follow you or that are a part of your crowd. And if your crowd is smaller, that doesn't necessarily mean popular. Total tangent, but I had to stake my claim in who decides these names? Anyways, so I having that jealousy growing up and seeing that tear some really big rifts in some friendships, fortunately that got to be repaired with the ones who were lifelong friends, with my very, very dear friend, actress and model Lauren Dearman, who's just amazing. The jealousy, though, it became a lot more minute later on. It wasn't so much of oh, good for her. Oh, I want what she wants. It was biting comments that would undercut my own value or my potentiality to have what it was that she had. So that's actually what jealousy is so often we don't think, we're not going around thinking I'm jealous of that person typically, because jealousy will not give a direct one-to-one reflection in the mirror. It'll typically show up as oh, I wish I could, oh, good for her. Oh, nice that she's has that. Nice that he has that. Or it'll come up as oh, I wish I could XYZ. I wish I could be as thin as her. I wish I could make as much money as her. Or biting comments, and this is where middle school girls just win. This is where they win. The biting comments that just are those subtle undercurrents of digs that are rooted in jealousy and insecurity. And so here's the magic of jealousy. One, it's a complete and total illusion because it highlights an illusion of lack, a paradigm of scarcity. Anytime there's any form of jealousy in any way, shape, or form, it highlights a paradigm of scarcity, which then you're choosing to buy into. Because if all things are possible, all things, I mean, even in the Bible, it says all things are possible through Christ who strengthens me. Like, if all things are possible, and to quote like quantum theory, if all things are possible in the quantum realm, and meaning you've thought it, you've imagined it, and thus it's existing at some point in the quantum realm available to you, and all you had to do is build that bridge, then jealousy is a complete illusion because it's saying that the fact that you can see it is the fact that it's available to you. Now, it may not be immediately available because of your observations, like I said in a past podcast episode with the law of cause and effect. So it requires you to be the gentle observer of your thoughts, of your circumstances, and of how many ways what you think you want that person has, that you're slightly jealous of, is possible and able for you to have as well. The other thing that I love about jealousy specifically is that in Aphorisms of Yoga, which I have been obsessed with, it shares about the process of enlightenment and how it's a seven-step process. And in the process of enlightenment and in growing more spiritually attuned, one of the things that needs to come with it is the refusal of covetousness, so jealousy. And it says the refusal of covetousness is maintaining the dignity of oneself. And truth-telling is maintaining the dignity of society. So when you experience jealousy, there is a belief, a limiting belief, a self-limiting belief. Let's be clear on what kind of belief this is. Jealousy creates a belief in your own capacity to achieve what it is that other person has or does, or who that person is. So the way to combat jealousy is to get really curious. Get really, really curious on how did they do it? Ask questions. If that person has a body that you want to have, that you're like, oh, damn, I really want to have her triceps. Maybe you at this moment are not willing to put in the 2 hours of CrossFit that she does every day. So allow yourself to explore. And then when you make those comparisons, because we make those comparisons so often, I see them with women so often, especially around the body. But when we make those comparisons, there is that belief that it is not possible for us. Well, it's not that it's not possible for us. It's that you don't want to put in the 2 hours to do the CrossFit and the insane amount of tricep dips that she does. It's that your capacity is currently not focused in that direction. So it's not that it's not available to you. It's that you are choosing not to have the habits and the discipline that person has in doing what it is that they do that has allowed them to have the thing that you want to have. So for example, let's say it is making money in business, right? I guarantee you the woman or man who is making more money than you in business is simply making more offers. They are simply reaching out, telling more people about their products and services, and thus because of the amount of people that they're reaching out to, more people are saying, yeah, I'm interested, sure. Let's go, let's chat. That's pretty much it. The person who is making more money than you in business is making more offers. They're making more offers and they're probably offering higher than what you offer. So let's say you have a $25,000 offer and their offer is a $50,000 offer. No matter how, you have to close 2 clients in order for them to just close 1 client, and then you're making the same amount of money. So that thing that you think that you want, whether it's making more money, if it's making more money in your business, then how can you make more offers? How can you get out there and make more offers? Maybe it's going on more podcasts. Maybe it's posting more on social media. Maybe it's being up in people's DMs. Maybe it's asking for referrals from people that you've worked with before. But whatever it is, there's a certain action step that other person that you're currently jealous of is taking that you're not. Say, for example, even if it's something as superficial as looks, right? So sometimes, yes, it can be genes. Sometimes, yes, it can be habits and practices. But let's say a person has, for example, clear skin. I used to have really bad acne when I was hormonal and like a hormonal bulimic wreck. Now I have really fabulous skin. Why? I drink a lot of water. I take a lot of supplements. I wash my face with all clean organic materials. If someone's jealous of my skin, then I share with them that. Like, you might not want to drink 3 liters of water a day, but I do. And that's one of the things. Like, you might not want to change your diet to eat predominantly organic and plants and organic meats. I do. That's what changed my skin. It wasn't, trying some new fancy cream. It was actually changing myself from the inside out. So you have to look at what are those things that you are jealous of that you actually, it's not necessarily jealousy. It's looking at their habits and principles and the discipline of what did they do that you're not currently doing. And then here's the question. Is that something you actually want to put in the effort to do? Or are you just so used to cutting yourself down that you're just going to keep doing the latter? I really hope it's not the latter. But I've seen with many, many clients, men, women, a lot of people unconsciously choose the latter. Because at the very least, I ask, make the choice consciously. Like over the past year, made the choice consciously to not berate my body into losing any amount of weight. At the moment, I am the heaviest that I have been, not pregnant. Do I love it? No. Am I willing to make that the sole thing that I focus on right now? No, I have other priorities at this moment. And so because I have other priorities, I'm not comparing, I'm accepting my body as it is, where she is right now, allowing her to be where she's at. She went through a lot these past couple of years with emotions and stuff, so I'm like letting her chill. And I'm also diligently, gently looking at my diet, making a few changes, working out a bit more, seeing how I can fit more movement into my day. So it's not a main priority to look like her or to look, even comparing myself, because sometimes we can also be very jealous of who we were or what we look like back then. The hardest person to compare yourself is to yourself, especially a past version of yourself, because you know what you're capable of. And I know that I have gotten down, like when I was in beauty pageants, when I did Miss California, I was 13% body fat, rocking on. Definitely not that now. And I'm okay with that because I don't want to put in the amount of work that I had to do that. And I know that. And so I consciously make the choice to not. Same with money. The same with money. You may see the woman who has a $1 million, $10 million, $25 million business, but you may not want her problems. You may not want the pressure. You may not want to level up into having a team. You may not want to do that much delegation. You may not want to switch from having your hands in every single thing in your business to then suddenly having to manage other people having their hands in your business. That's one of the harder ones that I've seen with most of my clients, is finding someone who's qualified, who could do it just as good as they can. And that's a transformation piece. That's something that if you want to get to that next level, if you want to get to that next goal, you're going to have to start doing and operating and being at a different level. So I challenge you today. 1, do not let yourself lose the dignity of yourself with comparisоnism and jealousy. You are a sovereign being created for a divine purpose that only you can fulfill. Do not diminish your worth and the dignity of yourself by comparing yourself to someone else. And 2, use jealousy as your tool to see, okay, if she can, I can too. Remember, one of the key points in manifesting and closing the gap between where you are now and where you want to be is in celebrating when other people have the thing that you say you want and like really celebrating them, like truly, genuinely. Like I celebrate when people look really damn good because I'm like, oh yeah, I can too. Am I willing to put in as much discipline as they are to that right now? Not as much. And I'm okay with that. Will I be okay with that in like 2 months from now? Probably not. We'll see. Who knows? Or maybe slow and steady and gentle wins the race. Either way, I've done it both ways. But look at when you get curious, when you get celebratory, and when you start asking questions about how that person did or does or has the thing that you desire to have, in those moments, check yourself. Is that something you want to commit to? Is that something that you could make space in your life to do? Like, if you really want to do that, maintain your dignity in your sovereignty and in the consciousness of your choices, knowing that jealousy is always a signal that if someone can, you can too. And knowing also that if that person is coming into your awareness, into your consciousness, it means that the goal is close. So if you find yourself surrounded by really hot, fit people and you're like, yeah, okay, seeing this, it means it's close. If you find yourself surrounded by multi-million-dollar business owners, yeah, okay, seeing this, celebrate it, operate with curiosity, ask heaps of questions, and then assess. Are those problems something that those problems, those challenges, those thought process, those habits, is that something that you are willing to put in the discipline, sometimes the sacrifice, to achieve that, to receive that, to do that? If this episode served, please do me a favor and share it with one friend. And I want to let you know that there are a few spots open for consults that you can book right below. This will give you a clear plan, a direction, a purpose, the strategy to uncover your subconscious success strategy, not something that I'm projecting onto you, but discover what it is that makes you special and unique, and discover your subconscious success strategy in order to use that to leverage into every area of your life. You will also receive the Power Profit Plan to scale your business up to 300% in the next year. Yep, really, the next 12 months. So if you're like, yes, queen, oh my gosh, I need to book this consult, I need to work with you, let's freaking go, click the link below, and I look forward to having a consult with you. As always, own your throne, mind your business, because your reign is now. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If what you heard resonated with you, be sure to subscribe and start creating a bigger impact now by sharing this with a friend. Just by doing that one simple act of kindness, you are creating a royal ripple to support more people in their sovereignty. And if you're not already following on social media, connect with me everywhere at crownyourself.now for more inspiration. I am so excited to connect with you in the next episode. And in the meantime, go out there and create a body, business, and life that rules. Because today, you crown yourself.